Welcome to the Eagle's World, ladies and gentlemen, in the upper part of Gulmit, which is called Kamaris or Kumars. Actually, natively it is termed as Kumars and Odver. But right now we are in Kumars, and it comprises on 45 households, and interesting stories could be found here about this settlement, and also there are some old houses. A glimpse in the video that how the scenery is. Anyway, this house which is here right now, we have entered, and you might have seen there that there was a gate. We entered here, though it apparently seems that it is a new house or a modern house, but actually there are some reconstruction have been made with this house. The gentleman who is with me is Mr. Javed Iqbal, son of Abdullah Jan of Kamaris and belonging to this village, and to the family of Arbob of Gulmit within the Budul or Abdul Ktor tribe in Gulmit. So we'll be talking to him later on while we enter in the house. So this house is called as Arbob Diwona Shoh house or Diwan's house, whatever we name it. I'll explain further while we are inside the house. So this house, which could be seen, Ali, if you could kindly show to the audience, something around here, at least the newly constructed buildings here, particularly the reconstruction within this household which has been made. So we'll be going inside to Diwan's house or Arbob Diwana Shoh's house. So let's go inside, and thank you to you, Mukhi Javed Ali Khan, for your kind favor and giving us this opportunity to visit your house and then explaining us inside the house when we'll be inside. Okay? Thank you. So we are here now, entering in this house, and this has been constructed newly. It is not new in that sense. The old house which was already existing, this was a corridor and the gate wasn't so. The main door wasn't so. It has been changed, replaced rather, and now we could see such kind of carpets laid down, and it wasn't so earlier. And this is another door which we entered, and then coming here. Okay, so where are we right now, Javed Ali? Okay, this is a Russian gun. He says that it is from the old time, the Russian gun that has been kept here for those who visit this house, so that to see and then to ask or inquire about it. So what is this Russian gun? Yeah. So this is through this gun, they used to, the people, they used to hunt, and for that purpose it was used, and also for maybe for the war and such kind of activities. So we are entering here. This is the part. This was the corridor which is in Wakhi. It is termed as a Saroy. So this was the, the Saroy, and then we entered here in Kunj. A passage, or rather a transit between the main house and the corridor. So we are here, and we'll be entering in the first place here in the house, which is termed as Yosh, and it is so. So there we could see right now, if you look there, the threshold, it wasn't so. Earlier it was deeper. And now it is not deeper, it is very shallow. It has been, made, these days, modernizing it in a sense, we could say. Right, like that, here, while entering or stepping inside this place, which is called yurt, and this was particularly used for the firewood and also for the shoes, it was also deeper, but the size of this yurt we could see, it is the same. There is no change, I think. So it is the same, and this during the wedding time, particularly, it is used for dancing purpose too. So we are in the house right now. So you could see, look around for a while. Ali, if you could kindly just give a glimpse of this house, and then we'll see, and we'll start explaining it further. So we are back. So this is a traditional Wakhi house, and then you can witness many pillars within this house, and this is actually the main house and the old house. Minor amendment or changes have been brought inside here, particularly the ceiling and then the roof and these areas. These are the same of the old time. The pillars are the same of the old time, and we could estimate it as per generation when we multiply, for example, in that respect too. So and besides the carbon testing of these pillars or the woods and these things, besides that, apart from them, so it exceeds more than 200 years, to be on safe side. More than 200 years. This house, which was constructed, it was actually the house of father of Diwona. His name was Hassan Ali. They were 4 brothers, and then they have 4 houses here too. So this is the house of Hassan Ali, and then certainly then afterwards it comes under his one of his influential sons, who was a headman of the village. Besides that, he was also a religious scholar, and then many stories are behind him, well known for that. And he also has, along with his cousins or along with his uncles, he has also went out of the Hunza state area, and they have also some wars or fightings or battles with other people. So he has remained one of the warriors, very influential and expert warriors as well. So there is a famous folk song behind their performance too. So that is a separate topic to be discussed. But anyway, this much about Diwona Shoh. Very short introduction of him. And his, as I told you, this is either we could term it as Arbob Diwona Shoh's house, or his, behind his father as Hassan Ali's house. And then Hassan Ali has 3 brothers. Arbob Muhammad Ali, he was also a warrior and also a headman, and also a traditional bone setter, and also having the hikmah or the hikmat or wisdom behind his treatment. So that was from on the scientific ground. The third one was termed as Binazar, who was a name of his grandfather. So he was Binazar too. And then the fourth one was Rahmatullah. So he was also he was the youngest one. And then the old houses in Gulmit and here in Kamaris, we could see the oldest houses that belonged to this gentleman, Rahmatullah. So this much about their family, their extended family. Ali, if you could kindly show a gentleman who's sleeping there. Apparently it seems he's sleeping, but he's in bed. But we need to understand that he is a gentleman more than 100 years old. He has crossed it this year, so we'll talk about him too. And right now, though he is in bed, and will be getting an opportunity, provided that if he gets up, then we'll talk a bit with him too after this video. So he is father of Javed Iqbal, and Javed Iqbal has 3 brothers. So his elder brother is Farasat Shah Khani, and then the second one, or in the middle, is Muqim Khan, and he himself, the third one. And how many sisters do you have?
You.
If you could kindly name.
Shoh.
Yes. So what I mean to say, just now these days, we have this much family members in this house, though he has his wider and extended family members too. And we'll be hearing him about this house. There are 7 pillars in this house, and the pillars, it's so interesting to hear that they have been, they have been brought, not the pillars, but rather, the timber from Batura Glacier, the famous Batura Glacier. So we'll be asking Javed Iqbal, who has been a former Mukhi of his Jamaat Khana here too. So Javed, could you kindly tell us about this house, the significance of this house, and also the pillars, how it was constructed? Just sort of چیزی که تو یم خون فکر سخت خیلی کتکو تا پوفن چیز کشنگ گوزیم کوم چیزش تو کتی یم استینشت یم و شونگ و بابت انت بکشتیم کوم سخت.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. خون بارار کشنگ قسامت عرب زنگ کی لبیج وزوج کوم سکر قسار کرتک نکشتاتشنی بخصاصن. یم خون شون گفت نکر بطور نفسمتک بود و خفت داگر خالگیست و یاش برده کنه یاش برده پوب خرم شو شون گرسنگ کنه عطا شون دیت کنه عطانیم شون بزمت کار پوب ولا مدینه یم خون
پوب ولا مدینه. Interesting. Well, the carpenter or the expert who has constructed this house was late Gulmit, and Gulmit, when we talk about this man Gulmit, I think it goes back in generation almost 6 or 7 generations back, or 8 generations, something like that. Yeah.
أول تدرم زين تدرم خون جايش زوج خنا كيم توكي درمي أول كشت تميس دم خون سكت كنا زان
كشت شيء بيته
كشت شون جنفش زنجا تزرع كوفتين زنجش كم قط وسط تايبش كنا على كشت تته هيا كشت أدرم ربطة شرون بس كم تسوي استوت كانوا بدا كشت عليك
يعني هم هيل جناوت
يعني هيل جناوت كم دخمال حال نسوي كانوا بدم كشت عليك تبصم خون بچیز تو خرشونی تو خون گلمیت خون بود دیت که نریان که دانه فهم تانش غلام الدین تعمیر کرد اور درمی زنکی جو بوب ارباب دیوان شاه افش علیم رخ روتر کاشغر جوید پیر کنده آرکند پیر شیخ و شاگردی وز یو پتر حاجی پویی یو بدر جوید for family
پیر نونگی چیز بود؟
پیر نونگی
نشد
تو یم بارال زنکی جو پوپ ترم یواخیا چیز رید واقع دادم وز اسکم تباسیو و توپ جای کانن جو پوپ هم کی اسکم همیشه پاکستان اسکم شرچیت وبسكن طابستاني تويت كسكن خون كنت غفلو بديتو أدراي نسيتك كيوسكن غفتشا يعني كندتك برخص كندك بسخن هزنج مش نيرشك زاشت بجو بوبي نسيتك تويتك زاق بوب حاجي بو يتميك تويتك جو مومبت ومزوارب جيم يبتري ديت أربابا شو بوبا المومي بأغاني كي زاشت بيو جرغاس صارتم زاشت بوشين كانيش جيز شوالتك أبري تكنشت كاني نفغاف جزارب جايتك المخالق وتسمرك وابسيرك سوختز جوخنت كوز مستو تيتر ارتومر نان خاتينت كاني شباب ياراتك درمير ادت سكاكوت ادت سرجن رايوز كاني شباب ياراتك شوف خنا كيم بيتكي دي جورجور بيوب كسبفنيش نكزنج شارج اور ماجي محارقتش زنج اسمه يعني غافشة تشزكتك
يو ياندي أربوب تويت كان يني تويت
يعني حيوني مع الناس تينا كنا وقت
زي زمانش تويتك يعني كيو زمانش تو كيف تويتك تي تويت تويت
يعني يو هيم باب يارات كتان بعد يوم شرط لكركي جنن تي زادا هيج تكليف ممي خفياك يا اور يوريدم سبرديسو كي هيم بيجي تسخك يو نشاني فيها كنت كي بخون بملتسر انسان تعبني يعني ياريم كنت كي زن انتي زادا هيج تكليف مي جارجيك اتان بعد سكر جارجنا نخان سكيم تباسي وطوك جيستي يعني شرط
Thank you. So it was so interesting story. He was talking a bit about construction of this house and how it was constructed, and particularly the timber as it was brought from Batura, as I was mentioning earlier. And then afterwards, he was talking about Ghulamuddin, as I was mentioning already, that he was the carpenter of this house. And then more interestingly, he was mentioning about, one of a supernatural being or spirit, which is, I don't know exactly what's called that in either in Urdu or in English. That's called Vagdin Wakhi. So that is female by nature. And then still, people would talk about it, about Vagd, and her name is not directly taken, but particularly when it appears at night, and then she's termed as, Jarjnan, or the foster mother. So cannot take her name directly, otherwise that will be harmful for people. There are such kind of stories behind. So once what has happened, roof of this house, Arbob Shoh was with her family, so maybe it clearly shows that it is summertime, because normally our people, they sleep on the roof of the houses in summertime. So along with his two of his children, Sultan Muhammad, who was termed as Puyi as well, and then his daughter Zawara Begim, who has remained one of the female Arbob of this village Gulmit as well. So they were so young, they were children. So at night, that super spirit, or the supernatural being that has appeared with whistling, and then because Diwona Shoh, actually his name is Diwona Shoh, is written according to his own writing, so later on it is termed as Diwona Shoh. So he has studied actually from Yarkand. Then it's interesting how the knowledge came to him. That was a question I had to ask, and it was great to know about it, that well as he has heard from his parents or his other family members. So he has got his education, religious education, from Yarkand, and the peer or the religious guide, whoever he was, he doesn't know about him. So certainly I have been to Yarkand and then the Poscom County too. So they are there. One is Hassan, and there are many, but with regard to these peers, so he has gone there, studied from there, and also his son, who is named as or termed as Sultan Muhammad so second, is the Sultan Muhammad II. So they have got their religious education from there, and that's why when the spirit has appeared, or the supernatural being has appeared at night, then he has started offering prayers or reciting from the Holy Quran or whatever, and then that Vagit has passed from the area down and then up, and on the way back she has given, blessed Diwona Shoh with her prayers, and said that there won't be any kind of harm from her side to his to his family and his progeny or the descendants, and then also has breastfed him for a while, giving her milk to him, to Arbob Diwona Shoh, and then he has said that it seemed that he was under a fountain water. So suddenly, it was so much, huge in flow, the milk of that Vagit. So these are the stories, and then on the other, she has also given as a token to be remembered two things to Arbob Diwona Shoh. So it is so interesting, we need to have, a scientific research about it also, to see what is its actual, nature. And then one is her nail. Where is that? Could you please bring it? The nail?
Yeah,
You with me. So, he has, she has given, the nail to Arbob Diwona Shoh, so that she should, as a what's called souvenir, as a souvenir, to keep it with him. And second, I don't exactly know in English or in Urdu what's called this plate of arm, for example, this one. This we call as fiak. So that was also given to him as a souvenir or token. So and then said, don't get them away, and also keep them, with him, and then their descendants too. That's why still, although it for the story it becomes more than 6 generations, but the token of nail is still with Javed Iqbal, and he'll show it to us. Yeah, could you show it to us, to the audience? So could you show it? Oh my goodness, wow, just imagine, this is it seems like something very, just imagine when I keep my own nail here, for example, it is double or triple of that. Just imagine it. This is what, the nail of the Vagit, or that normally it is termed as evil spirit, but when someone terms her evil, then that becomes evil. But if some people term her as mother, and then she blesses them with such kind of titles as Jarjinan or foster mother. So this was the nail. Still it exists with them, and they have kept it, protected it. So thank you, Javed.
Yeah.
So these are those stories that are behind this house, and this has happened in this house, and not in the house of Gulmit, where there is an old house, and that's also the Diwona Shoh house, or the Diwan house, but that is particularly with regard to this house here in Kamaris. And then when there was no house here in this village, there used to be the tent-like living places called as kerch, and we could term it, well, in Turkic language it's also termed as yurt. For example, it's just like this. There's my white cane, through this. So this is like this, V shape upward. So there used to be kerches here. That is the
That's actually, a temporary shelter.
Ah, okay. Please,
For a short
yeah,
time.
carry on. Yeah, what's that?
For a short time, they use these temporary shelters under the stone or somewhere. They have made such shelters for some hut types.
So, for example, have you seen them, such kind of things there in Batura? Because Ali Rahmat himself is from Osani, locally termed as, or natively termed as Isuni. So he's basically a researcher, and also his master's specialization in geography and also in GIS, working with the United Nations. So tell me please, you have been to many pasture lands, and also there in Batura area, to the Batura pasture lands. So have you found those kerches there too?
We have a place very close to our village. The place name is even called Kerch.
All right, thank you, Ali, for this much additional information. It was so interesting about Kerch, or the yurt, or the tent-like, dwelling place, whatever we name it. So thanks a lot. So we'll move to ahead. So could you please now show Ali us, show our viewers, specifically, from this side, when the entrance comes, and then the two pillars there. Yeah, please. They are the twin pillars there. Yeah. So those are, the twin pillars, which we call as, in Wakhi, we term them both as, what was Gilgit-Baltistan, or the entrance, or living towards the Kunj, that porch area, and then it is behind that the Gilgit-Baltistan. Both of those pillars are there. Is it okay? Clear? The brightness is there?
Yes.
Okay. And then, for example, now this is the pasturage where, our elder, our senior citizen is sleeping here. So this is the pasturage, and this has the significance in that respect, because it is used for multiple purposes. One, it is that during the wedding time, or the children or those who are the host, they might sit in these areas on this platform. And during the death rituals or ceremonies, so those who are the deceased family male members, they would sit here. And then besides that, one of the important aspects of this pasturage is our senior citizen is there. That is an evidence when people become old, so they sleep here, because it is so that it becomes easy for them to get down to this yurt area. It was not so shallow these days. It used to be deeper, as I mentioned earlier, and then they would come down, and then from here they would go to the toilet. So this is for that purpose too. And besides that, we will move that. These are from the old times, and still with the Wakhi traditional houses, these things exist. And here it is the third one. From entering from the house, we say, well, this is the third in that. This is called Viristin, means the pillar which is alone, or lonely pillar, because it has no pair in that respect, because both of those Gilgit-Baltistan, they are together there. This is called Viristin, and then there, if you could show them, Ali, what are there? Awash, yeah.
Awash.
So those are, I don't know if they are for the purpose of beautifying it, or does that has any scientific function with respect to these beams, the longer beams there. So they are from the old time, yeah?
Yeah.
Because so these days you might be observing some changes in the Hawash. So exactly, I don't know, but two to the left side, two to the right sides. And this is one of the beauties of the old houses here. And then here, this is another platform, which is termed as Lupraj among the Wakhis out of Hunza, and but within Hunza, among the Hunza Wakhis, this is termed as Klaraj too. And Klaraj means, because in the old days when there used to be winter time, they used to keep the clays for sheep and goats. They used to feed those animals here, the smaller animals or the weaker animals, and then they would then keep it clean, and then this is used for sleeping purpose too. And here, Ali, if you could show, but unfortunately this is no more there. In some old houses we could also see there used to be a small nest type of thing here, and that was used particularly for the wash basins of these days. As we could see, that was synonymous with they termed it as chilbishi, and some people would also use it for keeping 2 or 3 or 1 hen or chicken inside. And then we are moving up here. So this is great. I'm happy. It is a bit higher. Wow, that is great. So this is called shanj. Yeah, but that is under. Okay. Yeah, it is the older one, yeah. So this you could see, this is from the old time, this shanj. I'm happy at least Javed has not distorted then. That is still there, though some repair work has been made, but this is from the old time, the wood. So as I was saying, well, the house could be tracked back to 200 or more than 200 years. So this is from that. These are from the pillars, and then this shanj. These are from juniper trees. So the same is with this one. The same, we could see this is also the same from the old time, the shanj. So we could term it as shanj of the Klaraj. This is the shanj of the Nikard. And then again a wooden one, and then here this is the shanj of Pastraj. So this is Nikard. Nikard is particularly for that purpose. For example, when we see it is a dining place, we could say that it's a dining place. And then this is the Dildung Ben. This is the Dildung Ben. And Dildung is for the baker, for example, for that purpose. It is for that purpose. Okay, so this is where is that one? Let me show it to you. Okay, this is this one pillar. This is one of the pillars, and opposite that they are pairs again. As there was the Gilgit-Baltistan, they were the pair, and here both of these, this and just opposite there, both of them, they are the pairs. And then there you could see, sorry, I cannot see, you could see my white cane, and that's why I'm explaining it to you people. So there you could see 2 of these pillars there. For example, that one and the other one, they are also pairs, and they are also in pair termed as Chuk-16. So this is someone here.
Yani rich.
Oh, sorry, which? Okay.
That's it.
Okay. So here is an uncle, and he's one of the great persons of Gulmit, Mr. Sakhawat Shah. He's from central Gulmit, and he has his hotel, Continental Hotel. Is it? Yeah. So he's owner of that hotel. So many people come to him, and he generously extends his hospitality to them. So thank you. We'll be asking you too a question at the end. And this 16, which I was talking about, they are in pair. I'll tell you that while religiously these days how people term them, but this is the shanj, or the down beam or floor beam of this Raj or platform, which we term as a Nusun Raj. But it's interesting that within the Wakhis of Ishkoman or China or other areas, they term it as Put Raj. We term it as Nusun Raj. Nusun Raj is platform. Nusun Raj is for sleeping platform. Though, yeah, you are right. So they are bedrooms of the old, today. So we could say that, well, this one, which is we term as Nusun Raj, that is also for sleeping purpose. The downward, that's also for sleeping purpose, but at least here, this one is called Put Raj, and it's also very logical when out of Hunza people or the Wakhis term it as Put Raj, means the smaller platform. We term it as sleeping platform. So that is interesting. And then this is Tok, called Tok. So then we have two Tok, or this the portion. This is barrier, or a kind of where I won't like to go more in detail. A lot of things are there, a lot of lessons are there behind the Wakhi traditional houses, and from the scientific ground and from the religious point of view. When we when we explore it, a lot of things are there, from many contexts. So Tok is, you could see here, it naturally divides the kunj and then this main house. That one, the Tok of the pasturage, that divides the kunj with the main house there. And on the other, this also provides us scientifically, the what's called the harsh weather condition, the air that doesn't directly enter here when people are sleeping. That is also one of the greatness, or one of the interesting points. And then besides that, there are places, specific places here, how people sit here, that I will tell you later on. So inside there, Javed, if you go there, please. So that is the term that is termed as chkish. That's termed as chkish. So is that chkish of the past, or you have changed something there? Akatia. Trakidatia.
Trakination.
Vnihitka.
Trakination.
They use shung shelf, yeah. The mission matabadalke. Danetona the mission shelf.
Nee, trak trimistvetk.
Yani nivio nast na. Okay. I'll tell you. And this is again, reformation has been made, you could say. Oh, yes, I'm unhappy at this time, because there used to be, this was deeper. So this is the Shanj, which divides, interestingly, this area. This is the Dildungben area. That was Dildungben area. This is the Dildung area. And we are here in the Chkish. And here, this is the place where, there used to be, this is multiple function again. during wedding and during ritual and during ordinary deeds. It has multiple functions. But anyway, there used to be a track or the shelf of traditional shelf here. That has been replaced by the modern shelf now. That is just before you. And where is the yiri? That has also been, that was within the Turkish. We have two yiris, so that has been also dismantled and made, flat now, as it is. It has been made flat. Earlier it wasn't so. And okay, that there has been, brought another big shift in this house. There used to be, the granaries, and then, some boxes for the flour that has been
Designer hat.
yeah. So the design and each and everything is there from the upper side, and but internally they have brought some issues. There are some issues, and they brought changes. So this much, and then what about up here? This is what's called the plywood, or whatever we name it. That has been added to this. Earlier it wasn't so. There used to be, something in raw form upside. But here, let me say,
That is shut.
Okay. Okay, that is of that has been, curved in a sense. Though these are curved. So now, well, I was talking about the house, and particularly, the ceiling areas and then the pillars. Sorry, there was an interruption in the middle, and that's why we had to get a pause. So, if you could show Ali, there the ceiling is of flattened or a refined wood that has, leveled. But earlier it wasn't so. When we look at such kind of development within the Wakhi traditional houses, we could see that three stages we could see. First, we could find. First is a row that is not that could not be termed as a beam. What's called that? I don't know, Rahmat Ali. The sprusk stage, and then the second one is termed as Kalindic stage, and the third one is of the Taht. So this is something, we could see an evolution within the house, the houses, traditional Wakhi houses. And now there are some interesting connotations behind these pillars, as we have 7 pillars here. But rather, before the pillar, I would like to see if this contains. Okay, she's in Asta. Inside him, she's.
Was initiate.
Just imagine. This is really not good thing. There used to be, the side beams here, the side beams, and that had a particular function with regard to the earthquake. And these you could find or evidence 2 beams, longer beams from that area coming to the Chuks area, from the Pastraj to the Chuks area, and likewise to the other side you can find it from the Pastraj to the Chuks area, 2 longer beams. Like in the same manner, we can also find, in the old houses, the side beams, long beams, and that has special function scientifically with regard to the earthquake. That would, take it on itself. For example, if there used to be huge earthquake, for instance, if the walls collapsed, at least, the ceiling won't collapse, because these pillars have, that specific significance, and then having, those beams onto them. And there used to be some smaller level of pillars, as these are, heavy, but to the sides there used to be smaller ones. And when the earthquake would come, and for example, if it was at a huge scale, so that would collapse, but the ceiling would stand. So that was, the special significance of these pillars. And then from the scientific context, and when we explore further and see how, religiously it is being explained, so they would term it as something with these five pillars, 1, 2, and then that's the Viristin, 3, and then the twin stin there of the Kunjbar, 5 together is Panjatan, or dedicated behind the 5 holy people, or behind the Prophet Muhammad and his family, as Muhammad Ali, Fatima, Hassan and Hussein. And then both of these pillars, when combined together, so then that is termed as Haftaduddin with the 5, means the 7 limits or the stages of religion within Islam. However, this is just, we could say these are traditional Wakhi houses. They are not of something from the Islamic context in that respect, I would say, because when you talk about these people, whoever they are, for example, the Wakhi people, so they are Ismailis everywhere, as they are found in China, Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Pakistan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia,
China.
Turkey, China, I say. And then, within these countries, they dwell. But the thing is this, that is it really so that, well, these are behind those holy people, or the family of the Prophet Muhammad? So a big question mark arises here. So the question comes, no, it isn't so. These houses are very old. Not only centuries old, millennia old in that sense, we could say, but we need to explore anyway further about it. So this has, if any religious significance, this goes back to the Zoroastrian period. Zoroastrian period, when there was the in Persian we say Zartushti. اگر ما میگیم که این خیلی قدیم، از زمان قدیم این خونه ها رو ساخته اند، در اون هنگام ما باید فکر بکنیم که این میره پس تا به حضرت زرتشت که هزارها سال پیش بود. When we talk about it, so that is why it's important to keep in mind that, well, then the religious significance of the 7 pillars and the 5 the symbols or the figures of 5, that is important within Zoroastrianism. That was a monotheistic religion, and also the 7 figure as well. So I because the video clip is going longer, I'm avoiding.
كيف توصلت حسكت صازة
يعني خاطي وذاتك
يعني بديت oradan zinki avarış tutup
Very great points again. Mr. Sahabat Shah was bringing up or taking it up, and then thank you to you, Javed Iqbal. So because as I was right now mentioning, because the clip is going very, it's becoming longer, I'm gonna short it, but anyway, mentioning about these shooks, why the people, when there is any ritual, particularly with regard to the with regard to the rituals of Tagum, we say, or with regard to any ritual starting from Kituzit, Tagum, Chinir, or wedding ceremony, yes, marriage ceremony, and so in such rituals of time of ritual, so they start sprinkling flour onto these what's called onto these pillars, but the starting point or beginning point is, starting from the chooks, and the reason is, though scientifically people won't think in that respect, but they have a socio-cultural or spiritual or religious connotation behind that, because in all these pillars, they have given them protection, shelter, and then particularly because all these the weight of this house, particularly both of these longer beams, heavy, very heavy in that respect, responsibilities on both of these pillars, both of these beams, and then the pillars that go and rest onto that chooks pillars. So that's why that is being started from there, and then to this one. Chance was skimmed. أول يوم سن بنا هتاري سمنا then to that side, and then to ويرستين كانوا آخري درما ويرستين نا
درمش كارت كان جو خريدت
هذا ويرستين آخرشنا. So then sprinkling the flour onto the twin pillars, and then to the lonely pillar there, and then it ends when. So that is a good omen. For example, for the good omen, they are the flour that is sprinkled onto this onto these pillars, and then that beam particularly. Awala. Okay. Then at the end, then the during the time of wedding, then the sprinkling of the flour is made onto these what's called that, gurdevs?
Yeah, and get it.
Gurdevs, no?
Gurdevs, yeah.
Onto that circular area, you could see there are 4. Some people have 5, some people have 4. Layers. Yeah. So that is again behind the holy spirits, and but in some way we could see 4. That is behind the 4 angels, like when there would be any kind of ceremony, and particularly when there is a feast of about a newly constructed household, and then a goat is supposed to be slaughtered, but then that is not brought from this side, then that from the door, but from the roof, and then bringing, just hanging that down, and someone, 2 people would then take it, that is being hanged down by 1 or 2 people, and then the other 2 people would be down, and then they would just catch it, and then they would offer prayers and then slaughter here. So you get it? Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Uncle. So then these were those aspects. In the old houses, for example, here in this house, there were also 2 bakes, So unfortunately, 2 hearths. One of the hearths is here. The other one was upper portion, and then that has been dismantled, and now it is flattened. So in the old days there wasn't any stove of today as we can find, but in the old days there were they would keep the firewood inside, and then they would burn it, and then they would bake the breads. Traditional breads were also made, particularly during the wedding times. That's called dildungi or khista. Yeah, and yeah. So besides these wedding or rituals, and those who were well off, they would also make those khista or the dildungi. So, but now it is gone. There's no more khista as per se. that is a separate topic to be discussed, and it's going very longer. So anyway, at the end, before I conclude, I would like to ask you, and well, this house of Arbob Shoh, which is just so, what kind of similarity and differences you could see between this house at Kumars and the other house in Gulmit? چیز فرقش این بوی میانوین حرات
ما خون مفاخ میگه سبور بارتو دام راجستو او تخون فلان سنة تو دم بياتو اللي ما في جودة كم خد كنا يوتان وش خد وقيتو سميا خون سمنا تو باقي فاخيش ناس سمتو هذا يبار كامل هاي تيما في داشكو
أيوم يبار
كامل ندخل سبور بارت مشتو
شروي فن ريزد
شروي ورز يا راي ما جو ختمت كا
يا
عشان
شروي فن
tam saman belekeci ja
Niet weten, maar dan niet zijn ze jem gewoon lopen naar Gulmit gewoon nog.
nee joh loop pas
Loop ja, ne?
dan denk je dat was zo ik als hij niet جيبته ما جيبته نيا يوم وزعدا جلا يمات
بلدي اشتغازلتي
زعلتها بالدم اشتغلتي
زيتان كافي بينتو مشكيش واسط رازنتي أتيت نسمت أبو بروستو في يوم ريست كم كرت كتيت واسطي بترازن سلينكس كبير
انتو تاينا كاتين كتير ده تنو اكسبلور هكشتي علي
Mas vitel.
So they both of them they were comparing both these houses because the same gentleman Diwona Shoh, famously known as Arbob Shoh. So the house which is there in Gulmit and then here at Kamars. So both houses were compared by both Mr. Javed Shah and Javed Iqbal. So they say, well, the structure is almost the same, and then the size of the house which is in Gulmit termed as Old House Gulmit. So that is a big larger than this house, but this one is and then because there was a mosque down and then there is a mosque on the second floor there in Gulmit, but here it is also a big house, and significance is the significance is just before you as they were related to you, and then there were 4 doors down in that house in Gulmit, and here it was so, but then now it has been reduced and then reconstructed. Javed Iqbal has reconstructed it, and that's why it has shrunk in a sense externally. Internally, most of the things we could see, it is almost the same, particularly with regard to the ceiling area and the roof. So with this note, I'm very much thankful to you all for watching this video, and particularly I'm grateful to you, both of you, Mr. Javed Shah and you, Javed Iqbal, for providing us this opportunity to take the information and the video of your house. And more particularly, I am so much grateful to Mr. Ali Rahmat Musafir for his kind cooperation and his help and making this video or coming up with such historic videography. And with this, I would like to take your permission, and we'll end it here, and hope to see you next. Bye.